Hello everyone, it's Alina. Welcome to my Soap General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The General Hospital recap for Friday, January 19, 2024, has Drew making a bold move to stick it to Nina. He pulled the rug out from underneath her in a tremendous way. Also in this episode, Adam's father showed up and proved his son right as Joss campaigned for her friend. Sam spoke up about her woes, and Esm sobbed to Ava. All the while, Laura had it out with Spencer and in true fashion, did the next right thing. Now let's go a little deeper into the details. At Bobby's, Sam showed up to meet Drew, but he was nowhere to be seen. Carly had an explanation for that. He was taking care of business and informed Sam it would be quite a while before he'd see her. So instead, Sam and Carly chatted about Drew and tried to find ways to encourage him. Meanwhile, Nina showed up at Crimson and was met with movers. They were tearing down her office and rolling out all her files. She was shaken. She was even more shaken when Drew showed up with an explanation. He owns Aurora, and Aurora owns Crimson, so he owns Crimson. Oh, and she's fired. Nina did not take that news well at all. She completely lost it. She screamed, nearly cried, tried to make threats, but none of it worked. This was payback, and Drew was all about karma. The only concession he was ready to make was letting Nina decide whether or not her crew traveled with her. He offered her a termination letter. Sign it, and your staff stays. If not, they can leave too. No sooner had Nina signed it than Drew unleashed his last bomb. Nina's replacement walked through the door. It was none other than Carly. Also losing it was Esm. She showed up at the Jerome Gallery to ask for Ava's help. She informed Ava all about Nicholas taking off with Ace and inquired if she's seen her ex and knew where he was currently. Ava admitted to seeing Nick, but she knew nothing more than his visit to her. To Ava's credit, she did not revel in Ace's kidnapping. In fact, she was really unhappy about it. She warned Esm she was in for an uphill battle though. If Laura couldn't find Nick, she doubted Esm stood a chance. Esm reminded her she had a great ally to aid, Cyrus. Speaking of Cyrus, he called Laura and Spencer to his room. Once they were both there, he forced Spencer reveal exactly what went down with baby Ace. Laura was upset that her grandson handed Ace over to Nick. How dare he? Spencer tried to reason that the infant was best off with his dad. He also informed her that Esm had her memories back. It's time Esm paid for what she done. That did not help his case. Laura didn't care if his assumptions were right or not. Esm is a good mother and deserved her child. She went directly on the phone with the detectives and started the search for the missing child. Speaking of Cyrus, he called Laura and Spencer to his room. Once they were both there, he forced Spencer reveal exactly what went down with baby Ace. Laura was upset that her grandson handed Ace over to Nick. How dare he? Spencer tried to reason that the infant was best off with his dad. He also informed her that Esm had her memories back. It's time Esm paid for what she done. That did not help his case. Laura didn't care if his assumptions were right or not. Esm is a good mother and deserved her child. She went directly on the phone with the detectives and started the search for the missing child. Also at the hospital was Joss. She and Dex were in the chapel discussing Adam. Joss was scared for her friend and wanted to help him. Off they went to do just that. As for Adam, he was awake, alert, and Willow addressed his case with him. He was lucky to be alive after his binge. Adam didn't feel so lucky. He felt even unluckier when Portia informed him he had to consult with a psychiatrist before he could be discharged. Also, his parents were on the way whether he liked it or not. It wasn't long before Mr. Wright showed in and raised a commotion. He requested to see his son to Willow before Portia came over to deal with him. She gave him a rapid synopsis of the case, all while Mr. Wright was doing nothing more than criticizing his son. Eventually, Joss had enough and confronted him. They had it out about Adam, with Joss directly telling him that the pressure he and his wife placed Adam under was the reason Adam did what he did. He tried to kill himself. Mr. Wright fumed. Eventually, Joss had enough and confronted him. It had it out about Adam, with Joss directly telling him that the pressure he and his wife placed Adam under was the reason Adam did what he did. He tried to kill himself. Mr. Wright fumed. Esm Prince turns to Ramon because she must be looking for a unique sort of guidance. General Hospital spoilers feature characters being active about their business and their payback. Do not miss this episode. For Esme, Avery, Kristen Pohl, who talks Esme and Heather here, there's an upside to having a mom who resides in a psychiatric facility. She welcomes your darker traits full stop. In fact, it's a strong bet Heather would rather face an Esme with all of her memories than some Stepford counterpart with amnesia. Lately, Esme's been running on terror, desperation, and wrath. The next logical step is another meeting with the woman who birthed her but didn't raise her. In this scenario, Heather's the perfect person to turn to for help. Actually, she's the only person to support her this side of Laura. Even locked up, Heather's strangely resourceful and would have no trouble going above and above for her baby. For better or worse, Laura is the type of person to exhaust all alternatives in the name of her family. Now that she knows what happened to Ace, it looks like she's going to do what she can to assure his safety. That must be why she contacts Dante for all the legal avenues surrounding Esme and Nicholas's infant kid. Meanwhile, the anger Drew is feeling for Naina is apparent. His veins virtually burst every time he talks about her. For him, the best treatment is to make good on his pledge to make Naina pay. No doubt it involves Aurora Media and one of its major divisions, Crimson, which Naina runs. Is the end of Crimson the reason why Naina's reeling, or something else? Despite Scott and Lucy recognizing Tracy is a formidable opponent, they're going all in on their plot to swindle the Quartermaine Queen. Little do they realize that Tracy is on to them. As a result, the next part of this scam implies Tracy and Scott have to engage in a war of wits. Is it too soon to call this a win for Tracy? Finally, Brooklyn and Chase have a question for Gregory, who's definitely looking forward to his son's wedding. It's the reason why they're planning to have the celebration sooner than they had originally wanted. Does the engaged pair want to get Chase's dad involved in their wedding? In case you missed it, mornings on SoapHub are for comments or wild speculation about General Hospital's current stories, where they're heading, how they're doing, and sometimes just what we're hoping we will see in the near future in Port Charles. Sonny Corinthos and Carly Spencer have ran the gamut on General Hospital. They've despised each other, they've loved each other, they've been co-parents, they've been adversaries, they've had passionate sex, and they've had hate sex. Which version of this pair displays them at their best? In the beginning, Carly liked Jason. Sonny didn't think Carly was good enough for Jason, so he slept with her to prove it to Jason. Sonny made his point. But Carly ended up pregnant, so Sonny pushed her to marry him. They fought, they screamed, they bickered, and they bantered. Those were the good old days. Sonny and Carly have broken up several times, but they've always had their children in common. Michael, whom Sonny grabbed from AJ, Morgan, Avery, whom Carly appropriated from Ava, and Donna. For the kids' sake, they try to be nice in public, friendly even, which seems to be the safest position for them to take. For the majority of fans, Carly and Sonny perform best when they present a united front, and not just for the kids' sake, but for their own. Sonny and Carly operate best when they are in love, when they see the best in each other, rather than the worst, and when they're both rowing in the same direction, pursuing the same goals, and supporting each other. Even Jason stepped aside when Sonny returned from the dead. He knew they belonged together, even when the two of them didn't. Now that Naina's crime of reporting a crime has been exposed for the even bigger crime that it is, Sonny can dump his current wife and return to the only woman who meant to him. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.